Hello to the new. You in the know with BKO. Let's go. So we was just talking off the mic. Now we talking on the mic, and we're talking about some of the black states of minds of certain things. So one thing that we have not touched on too much is relationships in the black community. But it's important for us to talk about that because we can't put the family back together without talking about relationships and the construct. So I'm going to mention something that I saw a female post the other day. Maybe y'all saw the same post, and it's one of them things where she said, "Stop cooking for dudes during the talking." You saw that.
Yeah.
Stop cooking for guys in the talking stage, and I think I pissed a female off, and I said, "Yeah, because you know, having sex and all the other stuff is completely okay, but sandwiches—that's where we draw the line."
Yeah.
Where we draw the line is at sandwiches. That's where we draw the line. And she got a little mad. She said, "This is what she said: A dude can find sex anywhere, but having somebody that's willing to cook for you and do this and the third—that's real special." I said, "No, I can find food anywhere, man." I said, "The average dude now can cook for himself." I said, "Is it true that you can find sex from anybody?" I said, "Yeah, but it's not the same." I said, "Trust me, a man values in home or readily available sex from a woman that he likes more than food." I said, "I have, you know, you think that you're giving so much of yourself up for a man because you didn't cook for him. I've never seen a woman say she felt used because she made him breakfast. I feel so used. That was my grandma recipe. You don't hear stuff like that.
Yeah.
And with dudes, we accept, first of all, I'm gonna be real with you. A lot of females in today's society, at least on the black side, they don't know how to cook anyway. So that's kind of one of the things that we accept from the beginning that you might not have a home cooked meal, or at least that kind of down home cooked meal. It might be a little skillet meal, a little rice around it, but real dudes, for the most part, we appreciate the effort. It ain't got to be a 5-course gourmet meal, but I just think from a woman's side, some women have their heads on backwards when it comes to men. So I'll ask you first, Gary. As a man, what's more important? Having sandwiches whenever you want them, or having somebody that's gonna do what you want, how you like it, when you want it?
Oh yeah, second one for sure. I mean, that's always gonna be for sure, man. You gotta that's a part of knowing the person also. The other one just generic. That just is whatever. Like you said, anybody can get that. You know what I'm saying? But if you know what I'm saying, doing it how I want it, that pretty much you getting to know me. You take time to get to know how I like it. That's showing love though. To actually show, to do something for a person, you know what I'm saying, how they like it,
Right.
that's showing love. And
Like how you like your
that's how
sandwiches?
men like it.
How you like your sandwiches? Or how you
Huh?
like, how you like your sandwiches, or how you like your women? I
No,
want to
man, I'm
make
just
sure.
saying
I
like
want to make
treatment.
sure.
Treatment. Treatment. I mean, you could be the baddest thing in the world, but if you're not giving me the treatment how I like it don't matter. It ain't even valid toward me.
Even if she know
Like
how to cook.
you can know how to cook and all that stuff, but that stuff don't matter if it ain't come with treatment.
All right.
Pretty much like, shoot, this is my favorite meal, and yeah, you know how to cook it, but you instead of going my favorite meal when I might be feeling down or something like that, you gonna cook whatever you want to cook. That kind of stuff matters. Like I don't like pork chop, and you gonna start cooking pork chop.
Right.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can cook all right, but you cooking stuff that it's not even beneficial to me.
That I'm glad you said that. Okay, like Xavier, you a vegan, right? So it will be important for you, not that a woman knows how to cook, but that she actually understands and appreciates your point of view for the cooking.
Yeah.
You understand? Like making sure that your dishes are correct, or it's not about the cooking the meal. I think most competent people can cook. Now, whether it tastes good, that's different. But I think most competent people can cook to some degree. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But,
But I got a question though.
yeah.
Why do you think she said that? Why do you think she feel like the men are not worth being cooked for?
I think it's easier for a woman to not cook for a man than to not have sex because she has needs too. I'm just being honest with you.
Yeah, I can answer that. I was going to answer why I think she said that. The reason I think she said that is because society has taught our women that anything that they do for a man is degrading. Pretty much the feminist movement, if you do anything for a man, now you serving the man and you're supposed to be independent. Well, the worst thing you could do is anything where you're submitting to a man, pretty much in the modern day. So I think that's why that is. So what?
Upbringing.
Oh yeah, of course. And I think it's part of, like you said. I mean, and I want to touch on what Montavious just said. I do think it is easier for her, to spread her legs than to, put out a food spread, because, for some reason, and I'm quoting Patrice O'Neal. He's like, today's women have been taught to be more important than their pussies. which is one of the reasons why they want to go ahead and snag a man before he realized that she's not worth more than sex. So
before he realized the women out there making sandwiches for everybody. Right?
I was gonna say you didn't. I don't think you got around to asking me would I rather have the sandwich or sex.
I was coming back. I was
okay. I'll wait my turn. I'll wait my turn. Go ahead.
No, it's on you now. I was just to let you answer what he said.
Oh yeah. Oh, sandwich or sex? What kind of sandwich? Is it like a regular sandwich, like peanut butter jelly sandwich, or this about to be like
it's my
sandwich. A public sandwich. Ooh, this is a public sandwich. Ooh. All right. A public sandwich. Oh man, like Subway, like ooh. All right. Yeah. So here's the thing. I honestly, at first, my initial thought was, dang, I'll take the sex over food. But initially I thought that, but then I thought about it. I'm like, wait a minute, how do I feel? Because it's been times where I'm like, dog, yeah, I know I could kick it with chicken smash, but nigga, Taco Bell is real appetizing right now. I'd rather get some burritos and go to the grill.
Okay, so this is an important question. Are you hungry right now while we're talking? Because that may be influencing your decision. Are you hungry right now?
Right now, I'm not hungry. I actually just ate before we got
your decision. Okay.
Oh, we lost that.
What's fulfilling your decision, man?
Oh no. That's one time I'm really thinking, and I'm like, well, it really depends on how I feel in the moment. Like it's been times where, yeah, and I think this goes back to what you said, having in-house with someone that you like, because a lot of my experiences have been with partners that I didn't really care for. It was just really something to do, and the choice has been, hey, do I want to go kick it with this girl or do I want to stay at home and play PlayStation? So and PlayStation won, at times, because I really just didn't want to go through, didn't want to go through the hoops and hurdles just to get to the intimacy. But I think you're speaking from a standpoint of being with someone that has significance versus a casual situation. I'm speaking from a casual situation, and I think because it's a lot of casual sex going on, so much excess, it has definitely devalued the act of sex.
Well, I think that what?
So what?
Oh, I think that they were coming from the standpoint of not casual, but dating, as in when you're dating someone or you're aiming towards either a relationship or while you're technically when you're in a relationship, you're still kind of dating. I think they were talking about the road to marriage, basically saying that I shouldn't cook for a man until after I'm married, or maybe we're in a deep committed relationship.
I mean, and you know what? I think they're doing that now because, I mean, we've gotten to the point now there's nothing to look forward to because they're giving their bodies away so easily and freely. Like back in the day, you used to wait till after marriage to get the sex. But now we having sex before the relationships. So it's like, well, dang, they're not cooking because, or the cooking's become such a big deal because that's one of the few things that's left. Because like, well, dang, I'd have done everything else. You know, I'd have been, like I said, we'd been on dates. I'd have met his family and I'd done everything, you know, whatever. We'd been on dates. We'd had sex. Well, the last thing I could do is, the last thing I have to share with him is my grandma's recipe, you know, and man, we are in a, you know, the modern day society is a little ass backwards, because acts of intimacy are seen as more taboo. Like, have you heard how people now in the dating phase in dating they're more willing to have sex than to kiss?
Yeah.
Like because kissing is more intimacy, and the thing is, I think because we're in this era where people don't want to have feelings, so they're doing things so where they can stay as emotionally detached as possible.
I think so, but that's not healthy, because the thing is, anytime you commit time to someone, effort, whether you are having sex or not, if it doesn't go the way you desire, you're going to feel away. That's just how it is. And at the same time, if that existence comes to an end and you feel away, then you're stuck with all the questions of, either way, there are going to be questions. Either you're going to feel used, or you're going to say, should I have done this for this person if I knew this, or if I felt that? Or you're going to say, hey, if I had done these things, would they still be? So it's one of the things where you just kind of pick. When I go into a relationship, when I was dating, from the beginning, my mindset was, it's 100 or nothing. That's just my mindset. It's 100 or nothing. I can't show somebody that I can be 100 as a partner or a husband, anything else, if I don't show them what 100 is.
Right.
You, Xavier, cannot walk onto a football field with no film, no practice, nothing like that. You just show up in your pads on Saturday and say, put me in, coach, I'm going to win. That's not going to happen. It's a process. Getting on the field in August starts in March.
True. You got to prove yourself.
Right. Getting to the field in August starts in March. So you're not going to show up on game day in September, the first game of the season, without having practice, without having earned your position, and go up to the coach and say, hey, put me in. I'm going to score 30. You never seen me score 30, but just trust me. You put me in, I'm going to score 30, get like 45 rebounds, 30 assists, and we're going to win. He's not going to do that. So what you have is people that's doing it. That's what the equivalent of both men and women are doing when they don't want to do certain things in a relationship until they get married. You're basically asking someone to go on the strength that if you cross that line, you can live up to the hype of what you said.
Right. Can I jump in? All right. So basically, what you're saying is you got to have a resume before you get the position, right?
And you got to have a resume, and you have to prove to that person what's on your resume.
Right. You have to prove, and like you said, with like in football, you can't just say, "Hey, yeah, I need to start because I'm good." Trust me, I have no film. I have no, you never seen me play, but I show up to the coach and say, hey, man, I'm the truth, man. Go ahead. You need to start me, coach. He going to be like, get your ass back in the back of the line. Get your ass on the bench. That's what he going to say. But the thing is, I think the issue with women is, I think the thing is in dating, men, and especially in our community, we're competing with each other. And the thing is, women have a fear of looking dumb. And what I mean by that is she don't want to be dumb. Like, she don't want to be the one that, hey, I done all this for this man. I done You know, I done had sex with him. I done cooked for him. I done cleaned his house. I done all this stuff. But yet he still won't make me a wife. Or better yet, I'll be his girlfriend for 5, 10, 15 years, but he ain't never propose. Because they feel like she done gave her best to a man that won't, and she's not getting her prize. Like her prize is to get wiped up. And if she's not getting wiped up and she's giving her best efforts, then she done took the L. She done lost. And I think that's the thing. And in fact, it's so crazy. It's kind of hypocritical because it's contradictory rather, where women don't want to prove that they're worthy of being wives, but in the meanwhile, they want men to prove that they worthy to be husbands. They want us to do everything for them, and we ain't married to them. They want us giving them money. They want us be able to fix cars. They want us giving them paying rent. They want us doing they want us to prove that we providers before, you know, and they barely going to be, they want us to prove that we're providers before even getting into relationships. But yet they want us to make them wives before they prove that they worthy. It's crazy.
What if their best efforts suck? Well, you said they you know, they don't want to look dumb, men or women. This goes both ways. And you say I don't want to look dumb because I gave my best and look what it. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I know what people say, and I'm just gonna flat out tell you that sometimes your best isn't good enough. Sometimes your best isn't good enough, and it's not that it's not good, but it's not good for what you're trying to do. Like, okay, running a 4.7 40, that's pretty good for a lineman. You know, that's terrible for a running back. So you might be just out of position. You might be trying to go after something that's not meant for you to go after. And I can say that from when I was dating. There were times when I dated and I thought I was giving my best, and it was my best, but my best was not what it needed to be for this person. I dated a female twice one time, and both times I messed up. And it wasn't on no cheating stuff. It's just that the type of man that she wanted, I could not meet those requirements at that point in time. I was a good man, but she wanted a great man. So then somebody asked me they said, if you ran into her, it was a couple of years later. They said, if you ran into her now, would you try to get back with her? I said, no. They said, no. I said, no, I don't deserve it. They said, what do you mean? I said, look, if she wanted a great man back when I was a good man, if I am a great man now, don't you think that her expectations have probably risen as well? The last thing I want to do is go into that situation now thinking that I'm ready and getting proved wrong. It's almost like going from college to the NBA. You bounce out the NBA, you go to the G League, and you thinking, okay, I done got better. I'm ready for the NBA. And then when you go to the NBA, you realize that you've gotten better, but the NBA has also gotten better. So even though you're better than where you were, you're still not good enough for them because the talent is busy. And that's one of them things that I don't think people maybe are honest with themselves in situations when they say they gave their best, and they might take that to the next person, or they might take it too personally. I think you have to know your limits as a man, as a woman. You have to know what you're good at, and you also need to know where your boundaries are. I know people don't typically like that. Me personally, I think too many women in our society want to be the exception to the rule, not realizing it's the exception for a reason. You know, most people aren't the exception to the rule, they are the rule. So you're looking at that one lady that looks like this and ended up with a man like that, or works here and ended up with a man that works here, and now you're setting your expectations off of that, not realizing that's a 1 in 30 million chance, you know, and it's not going to happen that often. And I think you might set yourself up for failure if you are, you know, 5'2" and you're trying out for the NBA just because somebody did it 40 years ago. And I use that analogy just to tell people that sometimes our expectations of what we put on ourselves and what we feel like we deserve and what we want, that's our own biggest enemy.
Yeah. I think another problem is I think people too often confuse desire and what they deserve. They confuse those two. And I think what normally happens is people base their experiences on their last relationship, and they'll say what they got or what they didn't get for their relationship. Go into the next relationship and put those expectations and sit here and say, I deserve that based on your performance of that last relationship. Not understanding that it's a whole new relationship. You got to qualify over here too. And I think people do that. I think people do that too often. So they in their mind, they feel like they deserve based off what they think they is or what they think they did in the past. So they be like, I'm a loyal. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, based off what they did in their past. Okay. So now they're looking for you to pay the price of something they did with somebody else. That's not right. So my whole thing is I think people just mix up desire and mix up you know what I'm saying, what's the other word? Desire and what's the one I said? Deserve, yeah. They mix those up. Because
you know what?
What's that?
We live in a this is for men and women, especially in our community. We live in a very, very low risk, high reward society.
Right.
We got too many people trying to pay. We got too many people trying to play the penny slots, thinking they're going to become millionaires.
Yeah.
That we have a low high reward mentality, meaning I can do the least but expect the most, and it's going to pay off.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants to win big, but nobody wants to lose big. But the biggest winners are also the biggest losers because they were gambling, amounts that other people did not want to gamble. But a lot of people are not really. Nobody's going to roll the dice at $200 a roll trying to win 20,000. They want to put $2 down, roll, and try to win 200,000, and then get mad.
I say this: most winners know the market. Most winners know the market. I mean, they know the odds of how to play and what they're doing. They know the odds of it, right? I think a lot of times people don't go into the situation knowing or being aware of themselves, knowing where they at and what they qualify. So if you don't know what you qualify at and certain things, whoever that you think that you is, you place that expectation and feel like somebody should treat you based on what you think instead of what the world and the market says that you are. If that makes sense.
Why do they want to lose? Why are people so afraid? It's a part of life. It's a part of business. When you start a business, how many people say, I got X amount of no's and rejections and whatever else. For the first 5 years, I didn't make anything before I finally even broke even.
They don't care about that. They don't care about that. The one of the biggest things, the biggest drugs in the world is comfortable. Like those type things, losing and actually getting better, those type things are uncomfortable. Right? So if you look at the world today, they do the list because it's comfortable to do the list. Also, it takes less for you to get back to a place of, a lot of people don't know how to take a loss and mentally shake back. So, you know what I'm saying? They feel like, okay, well, since this last loss did me like this, I'm scared to take another step. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make you take a step closer to me, and I'm gonna give you the bare minimum because I'm scared to fall down again.
I'm gonna ask Xavier. Xavier, let's say you're a boxer. We're boxers. And I say, hey, I want to have a match against you, but these are the stipulations to the match. Okay? I can swing, you cannot. We're going to have a boxing match. I can swing, and you cannot. You cannot swing back. I'm going to do all the swinging. Okay? Would you agree to those terms?
Only if I was Floyd Mayweather. But no, seriously, no, I wouldn't agree with those terms.
But that's what people are doing, I think, in relationships, is that they want to be the ones that do all the hitting or the punishment or all the giving, and they don't want somebody to fight. When I say fight back, I don't mean in a bad way. What I'm saying is that you want the advantage to be in your favor.
Of course, I mean, no, I mean, yeah, you want a rigged fight. Like, that's
Right.
really what it is. It's a rigged game. My
I
thing
want
is,
to do
why
damage
would
to you, but I don't want to
yeah,
potentially take any damage to myself.
yeah,
I
yeah,
like that
yeah, right,
term.
right. You
I
say
like
what?
that term. I
What's
like
that?
the term you did though, for real. Because a lot of people, anybody can hit back, but like you said, it takes skills to have defense. So that's the things that people got to work on. It's the defense part of it, be able to go back. I like how you put that, for real. Yeah.
I mean, no, and I agree with you. The thing is, though, I mean, and I'm thinking about your analogy. It's like, yeah, on one hand, you're right. You're asking me to be a part of your rigged fight, right? Like, not only are you asking me to be part of a fight that I probably can't, that I can't win, you want me to want to be a part of a fight that I can't win.
I'm going to swing at you until I get tired. And if you don't fall out, then you must be the one.
But I'm just saying, think about the logic of that. Like, not only are you like, you feel like I should want to be in this fight that I can't win. Like, that's the logic behind relationships. Like, only you can win. I'm going to lose. Basically you feel like I should be begging you to lose on purpose.
No,
I'm damaged and I want to swing, but I don't want to get hit because I've been damaged. So for you, if you want to be with me, you're going to have to wait it out, and you're going to have to let me swing myself tired and realize that, oh, shoot, they haven't swung back. They're not trying to hurt me. Now that I'm tired, okay, you must be cool, because, you know, that's how people come out of relationships damaged, and they don't want to take damage, but they want to get all the damage out of them.
Right.
On someone else.
So let you beat me up until you're tired.
So check this out.
That sounds absolutely ridiculous. No, I think your philosophy is a great analogy of how the relationship climbing is, and that's why, to me, it almost makes zero sense for I don't want to say all men, but these days it almost makes zero sense for a man to get into relationships. Like, it's too many options out there. Oh, what's that look for, GQ?
I'm out of it.
I'm just saying, I'm just saying, though. Like again,
it's hard.
I think why would I sit here play your rigged game when I could go over here and play around and win all I want to?
You know what the mindset is?
What's that?
The mindset that they have is, you lucky to be in the ring with me. That's the mindset.
So we got a bunch of Jake Pauls.
You're lucky to be in the ring with me.
You're lucky to be in the ring. But, you know, now that's not just women. There are men same way that want to go in relationships with women, and they have that same expectation. Like, I want to get this out of me. Somebody did me wrong. I want to punch this out of me, but look, I'm fragile, so I can't take no damage. I can't be hit, but I'm finna give you this work. And if you're worthy enough, you'll survive it, and then we can talk after that.
But see, here's the thing, though. The only way your bout is beneficial is if, win or lose, I still get a payoff. Like you said, Jake Paul, like, I'm gonna get a check whether I win or lose. Then okay, yeah, I'll be in your match because I'm gonna get a check regardless. I feel like they think that, hey, look, just being in the ring with me, you get a check. You're gonna get a check.
You know what the check is?
What's that?
Best sex you ever had. Because that's what they think is the end all, the end all. A lot of times it's like, sex.
And you know what? That's our fault. That's our fault.
Yeah,
niggas have been gassing these girls up and telling them they the best they ever had when about 98% of them are mid. Like, it's all about this. I don't want to say 98% of them, but probably about 80% is about the same. And it's like, basically what you're saying is, hey, look, yeah, if you win or lose, you're gonna get this check, which is the best sex you ever had, right? Not realizing that, hey, they giving out free checks outside, just walking outside.
I mean, but I'm gonna be fair. I think women will probably say the same thing about some of these guys out here.
Yeah.
About some of these guys, talk the talk, and this, that, and the third. Because for
Vice versa.
women it's sex. For men it's things. Men expect, in my opinion, for women to be there punching dummies with the thought process of, okay, but I bought you this. Okay, but I gave you that. Okay, but I paid for this. Okay, so you're going to take this damage that I'm trying to give you because this is your payout. This is your exchange for taking my damage. It's not sex. But, you know, I paid your car note. I did this. You know, I'm looking out for you. You wanted that outfit. You know, this, then the third. I made you feel secure. Yeah, that's why I said that the dance can go both ways, because I think on both ends, there's no realization between men and women when we ask people to play these dangerous games with us.
Yeah.
When I didn't want to be in a relationship, I was very honest with people. Matter of fact, when I first met my wife, first thing I told her, we were friends. First thing I told her, I said, I'm not looking for a relationship. I don't want to be in a relationship. I don't think I'll ever get married. That's just where I'm at right now. And it is what it is. That's
called you bluff.
Yeah. He said the same thing. But, you know, we were cool for a minute, get to talking, realize we got stuff in common. After a while, I was like, hey, man, you want to hang out? We hang out. And it just kind of went from there. But I'm always honest with people. And I say, hey, and I don't have a problem talking about the stuff that I've been through. I would tell them up front, we talk like, hey, look, this is what happened to my, and it's not to have a session where you're getting all this out. This is just kind of let you know my thought process and why. If you want to jump in that ring, I'm letting you know that, hey, I got some stuff that I'm dealing with. And if she real, she'll tell you, so you know from the beginning, okay, this is going to be a fight. And when I mean a fight, I don't mean it should be a dysfunctional relationship or that it should be overbearing, but you're kind of understanding that we're both coming from a position to where we're going to be on the defensive at times and we're going to be on the attack at times. But that's the process of filling each other out. That's the process of filling each other out, is going through those little, you know, the little dance, the little, okay, I'm learning you, you learning me. And we go, hopefully we'll go the distance. You know, nobody's knocking each other out. It's not to sit there and expect someone to not swing back or to take everything that you're throwing at them and still smile about it and to be happy for whatever payout that they're getting at the end of the day. Like, that's just it's not healthy. So I wanted to ask something that I saw. I have it pulled up right here on the internet the other day. It reads like this. If a woman isn't submissive to you, then A, you aren't providing what is needed as a man, or B, she ain't for you, dog. Any woman, all caps, any woman, that means that's special. Any woman, I don't care how dominant, will submit to a man who makes her feel safe, loved, and fulfilled. It's just nature. I said that was only partially true. What do you guys think? Process it.
I don't know. I think both. I think A and B, honestly. I think both of them can exist. Because there's some women that's in the world that just, it's no man that's gonna get through, or even if they make her feel safe, that's just who she is. Like,
that's why I said it's partially true.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I believe that, you know what I'm saying, the guy has to have some responsibility in as far as what type of guy he is. And I believe about, you know, making her feel safe. I believe that.
I think that
I can go
ahead, Xavier.
I was gonna say, I'll go on the limb and say I think that it probably is the she's just not for you. I think that we put too much stock in these gender roles. You know, a man's supposed to be a provider and dominant, and women are supposed to submit. And at some point, there's a man out here that's going to make her submit because that's the role she's supposed to play. I think that trying to group all women into that role is where we probably have these issues. But I do think that at the end of the day, I mean, it's somebody out there for everybody. And I think too many people are trying to force a person to behave or do something that they want them to do when that person just ain't a good fit.
You think it's somebody
so
that loves everybody?
No, I don't.
I don't believe in that.
Well, all right. Or let me be more specific. I feel like as a man, because women outnumber us so much, there's going to be a woman that you can find. You say what?
There's going to be a woman willing to deal with your
There is a woman, and I feel like there is a good man out there that a lot of these women can share. But go ahead.
A good sucker.
But I do that.
There's going to be a good sucker out there waiting for you in the candy shop. No.
But realistically, it's almost 8 billion people on this earth, and you kind of gotta know who you are, know what you stand for, or whatever. And I do think that. Do I feel like, all right, maybe I shouldn't say there's someone for everybody. I do think that there's an opportunity for everybody. I think that's better. I think that there's an opportunity for everybody. But too many people try to force the wrong opportunity.
I think that, just being honest with you, I think that for both men and women, that sometimes there's nothing that another person can do but for you, but you have to simply run through the gauntlet of life and realize just how much damage you've done to yourself and how many chances at good relationships that you have ruined. And you have to reach a place to where you're willing to change for the better. And I don't think that has anything to do with meeting the right person. I say it because when you go into a relationship, you have to be willing from the beginning to do certain things if certain conditions are met. That's not something that somebody brings out of you. If a woman wants to be submissive to a man, she has to already have in her mind before she dates, if a man meets these conditions, then I will submit or whatever else. I said, but if she goes into it from and that's not nature. If she goes into it with a mindset of I'm just gonna be me, be wild, and when I meet my match, this is what's gonna happen, and they don't realize it. A lot of times that's what leads certain women to, there's a difference between being, dominant or waiting for. You can be so dominant or so strong that the only person more dominant or stronger than you is at a level of abuse, be it physical, mental, or emotional. They will have to break you, and that's not nature. They're just like with animals. There are some animals that are bred to be domestic, so because of their breeding, they are already more likely to be house trained in certain things. Now, I cannot go in the wild and get a wild dog or a wolf and bring it home and say, hey, I basically beat this dog, starved it, sat it in the corner. I put this animal in a condition to where it eventually does listen to me, but I had to do unnatural things. I had to break this animal.
I said break the buck.
Yeah, I had to break the buck. And that's what a lot of them don't realize, is that when you reach a certain level of dominance and you keep thinking that, basically it's just not, I haven't met the man that can handle me yet. What you're really doing is setting yourself up for failure, because either one or two things gonna happen. You either gonna get damaged or broken, because the only type of man that can handle you when you get past a certain level is the kind of man that you don't need to be with. Either he's gonna be cheating and doing other stuff, or he's going to break you, or either you never be dominated at all. In that sense, you're gonna end up with a weaker man. You're going to end up with a yes man, someone that will be comfortable allowing you to run the show and do whatever else. And I don't even consider relationships. I think that's how people end up broken and damaged, when they keep telling themselves that basically the reason I'm not with somebody is not because of me. It's because I just haven't met the right person to deal with this, that, and the third. Some things are not meant to be dealt with. That's male or female. Some things as a man, I cannot expect a woman to deal with, because then I would be looking for a sucker. I would be looking for the same sucker that she's looking for. But that's how a lot of people think. They think that if we do this and do that, and there's a man that's going to come along one day, and he's going to be all big and strong and providing, and I've been there before. I've been there before as a man that was just with somebody. All I did was work, take care of her kid, come home. I didn't even hang out. I was like 23. She had a kid. I ain't have no kids. That's all I did. But because of her attitude and the way she was, I couldn't get through it. So some people say, well, that means you just weren't the one for her. Okay. So then 15, 20 years later, when you're married and this person is still running the streets, you mean to tell me you ain't came across nobody that was the right one in 15 or 20 years? Nobody? That's how you end up with people like Vivica Fox at 60 talking about I'm ready. Ready for what? Ready for what? You on that policy? What you ready for? Talking about I'm finally ready. For what? I'm just being honest. You gonna tell me that's you've never met at the age of 60, you've never met a man that was right.
I mean, but you're speaking on the issue where people don't realize that the problem is them. Like,
yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, that common denominator. The problem is you. Like, you mean to tell me everybody you met is a cheater or everybody's a bad person? It's never you. But a lot of those people, that's the dangers of a person who plays the victim, as GQ said, or yeah, man. A lot of these people these folks are they are emotionally and mentally broken, and they need therapy, man. And they just are, and yeah, like they self-destructive. And it's funny you brought up that Vivica thing, man. That joke it's sad to me, man. Like it's a lot of them that think like her. And granted, she's someone who has status and she's a celebrity, so maybe her she has inflated sense of ego and value. But
other stuff too.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, she don't realize she's looking like Tyler Perry right now. But she do like Tyler Perry. But it's like, man, it's a lot of them that end up like that. Now you 60 and like, oh, I'm ready to settle down. For what?
So why don't we give them the same grief that they give men when they say there's so many men out there that wait until they have a health problem before they want to settle down? Okay, there's so many of y'all that wait until you at the end of your useful life, like you don't have much shelf life left, and now you talking about you want to settle down. You might be healthy, but look at you.
I think women are more prone to get wiped up, to settle down and marry than men are. I think it's more of us in our community. It's more of us waiting till we're in our 50s and sick or whatever to try to settle down. Because the reason I say that is I see bad women, like fine women, and they be with some of the lamest looking dudes. I seen women get wiped up by dudes they know they're not attracted to. But they only married the man because he was the nigga that said that ass.
No,
he was the nigga that
it's because of that clock in their head.
Of course.
Women have that clock in their head that by the time they reach a certain age, a lot of times they will throw the chips out the window just for the sake of getting married before a certain point in time. I don't see this all women.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Who is showing them how to be ready for a relationship?
Glorilla.
When we sit here and say, you know what I'm saying, they wait until they old age, well, for a relationship, who is actually showing them in their life to be prepared to show them, hey, this is what you need to be doing, this is what you need to have, or this is the type of person that you need to be for a relationship?
I'm gonna tell you, a lot of times, and this is what happens. You have sometimes women can show other women. A woman can only show a woman how to be a woman according to a woman, which is a good thing. But only a man can teach a woman how to be a good woman to a man in certain aspects. The same way that my dad could teach me a lot of things about being a man, but there were a lot of things about how a man should treat a woman and how women look at men that I had to learn from my mom and other women. Why? Because here's the thing. My dad has never dated a man. So there are certain things about being in a relationship with a man that he cannot teach me. Only my mama can teach me that. There are certain, a girl's mother can teach her certain things about a man, like how to catch one, maybe how to keep him to an extent. But her mom, at least I hope, has never dated a woman. So there are certain things that only a man with experience of dating women, there's certain insight that he can give a woman. Now, this is what happens. Us men that do have that insight and have dated women, and we do try to give this advice to women on the internet, there's a lot of kickback. There's a lot of, you can't tell me. And then you got their homegirls, you know, the Single Wives Club over there reinforcing their bad beliefs. And so what happens is they go through life not learning certain lessons, not because nobody tried to teach them, but because the people that was trying to teach them, they had people in their corner telling them, don't listen. And that's how you get knocked out in the 5th round, when you got the wrong people in your corner.
Hey.
Wow. Can I add to? Well, you have the luxury of growing up in a 2-parent household, to where, hey, you getting advice from your mama and you getting your advice from your pops to advice on how to gain, I guess, a goal that society say we should all be achieving, you know, which is marriage, you know, a 2-parent household. But man, most of these women, the ones y'all talking about, they ain't grew up with both their parents in the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want that thing, but they have no example. They've had no example of what that looked like. They don't know how they need to carry themselves. I mean, this goes both ways, man. And I guess I can say I'm guilty too, because my folks, they split up when I was a kid. My pops was in my life, but he wasn't in the house. And what you end up in that situation was, because when you said that about your mom could show you things that she like, what ended up happening was, you got a situation where the mom, like my mom, she raised me to be the man that she wished she had versus the man I probably should have been, you know. And I had to learn from other examples, you know, when I could, okay, this is the type of man I should be. You see what I'm saying? Like, and in fact, I had to unlearn a lot of stuff once I got to a certain point when I'm like, this ain't working. Because all that BS that my mama taught me, by the time I got to college, I was getting ran to slap over in my relationships. You know what I'm saying? Because
the 2-parent household thing, it's a gift and a curse. I tell people, it's not what all people think it is. Sometimes like having 2 parents in the household is a bad thing. If you got 2 parents in the household and they both have bad views, now you're getting a set of bad views reinforced by another set of bad views. My dad, you know, I love him to death. He was a great father, but he wasn't that great of a husband. You know, a lot of infidelity and other things that they dealt with. And some things I learned as I got older. You know, when I was a kid, I didn't hear certain things. I got grown and I talked to my parents. And they, you know, when they got divorced when I was 20, I would talk to them separately. And that's how I started learning a lot of things as I came to age as a young adult. And then I would talk to my sisters. And when I was in college, I would talk to my female friends. We would sit around and talk, and I would ask them questions like, hey, what do women like about this? Oh, okay, well, what do women? I wasn't afraid to ask women their thoughts about men and what they liked and what they didn't like or whatever else, because I realized that a man can tell me everything he wants about what he think makes a woman happy based off his experiences and trial and error. But a woman has a better chance of telling me what women desire in a man or in a mate. So I listened to, it wasn't just my mom. I listened to everybody. When I was on social media and I see women write, I would read it and I would respond to them. And sometimes I inbox them and ask questions. I'd be like, hey, what you really think? I would engage in them. But I wanted to engage. When you got women, so what I'm saying is, even if they don't have a dad in their household, even if they don't have an uncle, you're not going to tell me they've never met any men anywhere, at school, at work, at college, you know, in the streets, on social media. There are people out there. You got YouTube videos. There are people out there that are telling them what they need to know. The point is, they have more people in their corner telling them, no, it's not you. You shouldn't do that. They don't know what they talking about. Man can't tell you this. You have no excuses, in my opinion, at this day and age, regardless of whether you have a 1-parent household or two. You don't have to have a 2-parent household. if you have two parents that are in your life, they can live in separate states. You can still talk to them and get advice. So it's not about having them in the same space. You understand? You got two parents in two separate households and they both married. Shoot, now you might be looking at two good households instead of living in a situation where you bad.
The parents got a co-parent. They got a co-parent.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm just saying, I grew up in a co-parenting situation. So, you know, but what you were saying, man, I hate to cut you off. I was just going to say what you're saying is, no, the reason why they got people in the corner saying it's not you is because, again, this goes back to one of the early episodes we had about how no one is teaching our women accountability. If she doesn't have to be accountable or enforcing accountability, like it's never going to be her fault, and it's always going to be the man's. It's always going to be up to the man. So,
right,
you know. But I was going to ask you also. You was like, so your dad. I did not know that about your dad. You said he, you know, when y'all was growing up.
You say he did what?
You say your dad committed a lot of infidelity?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, but he stuck with you. But he was with your mom, but he was stepping out and cheating most of the time.
Yeah. And
sounds like
we were involved. We were involved at the church at the time, and you know, he was a preacher and some more things. So my growing up is not what a lot of people think it was.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, sound like your dad's a stand-up guy.
As a parent, you know, he had a parent, and he'll tell you out his own mouth. That's why I can talk about it freely. As a parent, my dad, you know, he was good provider, good provider for his kids. Even for my mom, if she wanted anything, he'll fly to the moon and get it and come back. He'll work himself under the ground. When he came to that fidelity thing, that's a whole different struggle. You know, it was just.
I mean, but that's an attest to the what's wrong with the gender roles, where they say that the man's value is in him being a provider. Right. As long as he's providing, we get a lot of slack. You know, just by if you provide and you can get away with a lot of stuff. Because imagine if the roles were reversed. Imagine if your mom was doing all the things she's supposed to do as a woman, like, you know, she's cooking, cleaning, she's submissive to her husband, to your father, and all that stuff. She's being submissive, she's being a homemaker, but she cheats from time to time. They ain't gonna be ready to crucify her. You know what I'm saying? Because that's totally unacceptable for her to do, even though she's doing all the things in her role. It's almost like, dang, it's like, man, when it comes to us, man, like the like I said, in fact, the crazy thing is, a man who's not providing is way worse than a man who's cheating. If a man who's providing and commits infidelity is the better man than a man who's faithful and broke, because he's not a provider. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah, okay. So, you got a star player on your football team, right? You got two players on your football team. One of them is a pain in the butt. He arrogant. He's a cancer to the locker room, but the man go out on the field and he will have 200 yards receiving and 4 touchdowns every game. Can't nobody touch him. Then you got somebody else in the locker room, same attitude, cause the same problems. The man might fumble 4 times in one possession. Who do you think you're going to keep? There is no value in somebody that's messing up and not beneficial. You just messing up.
Well, no, I was saying the guy who's no. He's beneficial. I'm just saying that he's not a provider. He's faithful. He's not toxic. He's just not a provider. He's broke. He ain't making money. Now, because my thing is, I was looking at your analogy about the star player that's a cancer to the locker room. I don't care how many touchdowns he scores. I don't want a cancer in my locker room, because one man ain't gonna win me a championship. Like, I'm prime example. I'm a big Eagles fan. Look at what happened with the Philadelphia Eagles when they had T.O. T.O. was that at first.
Every woman don't think like that. For some women, just like for some teams, he was worth it. For some women, it's like that man and his cancerous attitude and his infidelity is worth the provision. Well, I'm tell you why. Because if you get a woman, especially one that doesn't have education, doesn't have any skills, or doesn't want to do a manual labor job to get the type of money that she can get to afford to live on her own and provide for herself, guess what she's going to do? She's going to put up with his bull because she realizes that if he don't provide for me and if I lose him, I can't maintain the level of life that I want to maintain. So just like with players, some teams, if they want to win their championship, the risk might be worth it. They might say, you know what, he get on my nerves, but especially for a coach that might be on his last legs, like I need to win a championship bad or I'm going to be out of a job. So I'm going to put up with it. Now for the dude that's doing everything right that you say, but he's not providing, well, that's like having somebody on your team that's the greatest teammate in the world, just as cheerful. He come in there and pray for everybody for the games and everything, talk to all the kids, pass out candy. You look at his stats, zeros across the board. He's utterly useless. He is a cheerful deadweight. Who wants a cheerful deadweight? Do you want a cheerful deadweight? No, you don't want a cheerful deadweight. You don't want somebody on your team that's just as great as they want to be, and they're not giving anything towards the team.